Yo, what's going on guys? Welcome back to the channel. We're back with another new build. This build is called the Mad Dog. Why is he called the Mad Dog, do you ask? Well, that's because he is a mad dog. Look at him. He's all deranged, he's a werewolf. He's a big old growly dog that's just gone a little bit crazy. We've got some madness spells to be using on the build. Flame of Frenzy, Howl of Shabiri, we've got the Frenzied Burst, and we've got the good old Inescapable Frenzy. When they get too close, we can grab them and inflict madness. I've got Endure on the thingy, the Bloodhound Claws, that's it. The Claws of Doom, the Claws of Destiny. The Bloodhound Claws, we've got Endure on those, so that's going to help us land some of them incantations. I've got some other spells on the build which kind of add to that beastly feel. I've got Aspect of the Crucible Thorns, which is honestly absolutely awful. It's a terrible incantation, don't ever use it. But I try and use it for style points, and it looks a bit beastly. I've got the Roar of Regalia, however you want to pronounce it. I've got the Bestial Sling, just for finishing them off when they're at low health. It's a really handy spell. And then I've got the Beast Claws. So you can kind of see we've got the claws on the hands, then we've got the madness spells, and we've got some bestial type incantations as well. The Mad Dog, he's just a mad dog. And then in my second weapon slot I've got the Madness Torch, which again isn't very good. It's got this really cool Ash of War, which isn't very good. But it's nice to have a play around with, you know. We're a level 125 build again, guys. It's going really good at level 125. I've got 60 Vigor, 40 Dex, and 33 Faith. That's pretty much all I need to cover everything that, you know, the spells, and get some good return on the weapons. Again, I'm using the Stalwart Horn Charm to help with the robustness, just to prevent some of that bleed that everyone's using. I've got the Drawstring Blood Grease, and in my flask I'm using the Dex Knot and the Opaline Hardtear. And that is the build, boys. The Mad Dog. I'm going to inflict madness. I'm going to bleed you out, and I'm going to eat you. I'm just going to eat you up on a butty because I'm a mad dog. Back to the invasions. So I've had the idea for a while, guys, to do a madness build, but I didn't want to do just a typical madness build using the likes of Vike's War Spear or even the madness shield, the big fingerprint shield. I wanted to do a madness build which incorporated some other influences into it, such as different incantations and not a typical madness weapon. Basically, I wanted to do a themed build that had madness incorporated into it, but kind of did it in a way which made sense. So I was brainstorming for a while how I could do it, and then this idea of a mad dog came to me. You know, we all know about dogs that have kind of become a little bit unhinged, rabies and all that, frothing at the mouth. And I thought, you know, we've got the blade helmet, we've got the bloodhound claws, so we've pretty much got a dog already made for us right there. And then we can put some of the madness on it. That's the madness side, the rabies, the mad dog side of the build. The visuals are sorted, and then it just went from there, guys. We added the incantations, we added the bestial claw, I can't remember exactly what it's called. This one, the beast claw, I'm using it now in the invasion. Wow, hitting with it as well, not bad. Followed that up with a little bit of a frenzied burst, but he dodged it. Good dodge. So yeah, we added some extra spells onto it, all kind of sticking with animalistic theme, a beast type theme. So we've got the beast claws, we've got the roar of Regalia, even though that bad boy is a big bear, it's not a dog or a wolf. but still it's an animal type thing, isn't it? And it fits the build really nicely. We've also got the aspect of the crucible thorns. If you watch the invasion, I'm about to get a kill with it. But it's a terrible incantation, boys. Don't ever use this. Look, I actually... Oh no. I'm telling a lie, guys. I'm telling a lie. I finished him with a bestial sling. I thought I was going to use the crucible there, but yeah, I didn't. I used the sling and we killed him anyway. But the aspect of the crucible, the little porcupine, spinneroony, little... I'm gonna jab you with my little spikes. That one, not a very good incantation, guys. It doesn't do much damage at all, but it's fun to use and it fits the theme of the build. So no, it's just really good. It fits the theme, so it's staying. Now watch this invasion. Inescapable frenzy, guys. Get sucked out your eyeballs. Your soul is mine. I've just sucked your soul through your eyeballs. And again, this is why we have Endure on the Bloodhound Fangs, guys. This is why Endure is on the Fangs, because Inescapable Frenzy is so good when you pair it with that particular Acid Wall. Super good. Inescapable Frenzy is just one of the best spells ever, but you do need a little bit of a helping hand to land it. Now this invasion was a tricky one. This invasion went on for ages, right? This guy who I'm chasing now with a green hair, he's not got pink hair, I'm colourblind, he's got green hair. But that guy there with a spear was light rolling. He's a light rolling Schmeagle, guys, and I absolutely despise light rollers with a passion. It's something I will never, ever use myself, because I think it is the most broken thing in all of Elden Ring. And it's an absolute joke to use in PvP. I don't blame him for it. If it's his build, it's his build, and I'm not going to hold it against him. But wow, just keep your eyes on this invasion, right? So we're going after the green guy now. I'll let him be. I just try and focus on the red guy. Try and get the guy with the big slinging sword. This guy in the red dress with the big colossal sword. We try and take him out first, and then we're going to enter a stage of this invasion that I like to call chasing the light roller around for all of eternity. I've sped the footage up, guys. It's going to start shortly, but it lasted about half an hour. Here we go. Chase the light roller. 3, 2, 1. Bosh. So yeah, that was a bit annoying. I was honestly chasing that guy around for about 20 minutes. I just couldn't hit him. That's why light rolling is just broken as all hell. But it is what it is. You've got to deal with these things sometimes. But from that invasion, which was a bit of a nightmare, to this one, which was just a well-respectful, nice little one-on-one, I jumped down off this ledge and we just have a nice little scrap. He's got a pretty cool build going on with that weapon, the big curved sword, the beast grey wolf curved sword. I can't remember what it's called. I've just got the worst memory ever for remembering the name of things, guys. This is how it's always been. You know that I've just got a shocking memory, but you can see on these invasions how we're trying to mix some of the spells in. It's all about mixing things in. It's about mixing the spells together, mixing the weapon attacks, popping that in jaw, trying to just make it flow as best as possible, guys. Really cool invasion, this one. Now the invasion after this one, guys, is another crazy one. I like to call this next one toe-to-toe, man-to-man, throw down in a dark cave. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, bosh.
So yeah, that one was a bit crazy. I spawned in and I just came across them both in a tight little cave, but again, that's why Ian Joe comes in so clutch. And look at the health on this one. Rivers of blood spam nearly kill me, but we just survived and the invasion goes on. This was a really good invasion actually. The guy with the rivers of blood was being a bit of a pain. He was like proper spamming it, spamming and spamming away, but we've got the kit to deal with it, guys. Endure, man. Endure is an absolute beast. I am using a madness torch on this build as well. I said it when I spoke about the build earlier that I don't find it too good, to be honest, but I thought it was a nice little one to have a play around with. There's a madness incantation which does something similar to what the Ash of War on the torch does. I can't remember what the incantation's called, but it's the DLC madness incantation. You kind of stand there and you emit big madness flames from above you in a big eye. It looks really cool, right? But it costs 43 faith, I think. And I had it on the build, and I just thought I was losing out on a bit of damage on the claws by accommodating for that particular incantation. So I thought, let's put the torch on the build. It does something visually very similar, so I can kind of, you know, get the same thing. I don't know if it's as effective or not, but I saved myself 10 faith basically, put it into deck so I was getting a bit more damage, and I added the torch and took that incantation off. So you can see what I was going for. Visually it's the same, but I was able to up my damage on the claws a bit, and it kind of worked out pretty well. This was a pretty annoying one. I managed to do some long range snipes at these two, clearly running to the boss room. I was just trying to harass them. The guy in front, the main guy who's leading the pack, you can see him there on the left, he's just run up. He's running to the boss room, but this guy stays back for a fight and he just gets roared on. Just get absolutely roared all over your face, and the other guy runs to the boss room and it's unlucky. Now this next invasion I'm going to show is an absolute banger. These two have got a couple of really, you know, pretty honest builds. They are using bleed setups, but we don't mind that. Good players. I'm sure I've invaded these two before, to be honest. I actually lose this invasion, but I had to show this invasion in the video. It lasted ages, but I've cut it down a little bit. I'll get back to you shortly, guys, but for now just sit back and enjoy this invasion. We do not mind losing invasions like that, guys. What an awesome fight that was. They clearly didn't want to push too far up those stairs where we was fighting. There was, you know, a lot of very dangerous enemies behind me, so I had somewhere I could retreat to throughout that invasion. But yeah, you know, you can't blame them for not pushing too hard. I kept pushing onto them, just giving it everything I had. I nearly killed them both a couple of times, as you saw. It was just unlucky we didn't get the win. But like I say, you know, you can't argue with that. What a good invasion. This build has been a lot of fun. It took me a while to get used to be honest. If you've ever had a build like this where you kind of put quite a lot of incantations or spells onto one build, it takes a bit of time to get used to. It's a little bit of a juggling act. You've got to figure out which spells to put where in the rotation, which spells are best to use when. There's a certain combinations you like to use. You've got to figure out how your weapons play into the spell rotation as well. It's not a case of just throwing a build like this together and it just works straight off the bat. It does take a little bit of getting used to before you actually master any particular build that has got quite a lot of things going on with it. So when it actually comes together and you start getting those wins, it's all the more sweeter, and it's just what makes build making so much fun. Really, really good stuff. This is the last invasion of the video, guys. This guy using the big blood fiend's arm, the big chicken wing. The big bloody chicken wing. Got to love it. Got to love it. Again, aspect to the Crucible Thorns there. What a terrible spell that is. But we use it because it's funny. Anyway, guys, enjoy the rest of this invasion. Hope you've enjoyed the video. I'll see you all on the next one.